This session this afternoon is on signage. We have a lot of signs out there that are there and they have dual or triple meanings to them that you probably have not been told about. These are common signs that we see every day and we probably think we know what they are, but they have other meanings tied to them. And I've driven around now for over 20 years in a commercial motor vehicle, and I've seen these and I'm like, what are those? What are these? What are the delineators? Okay? What does that sign mean? Because it's a different shape or color or something like that. So I really got enlightened when I went for my New York State certification. I had a great instructor who helped me figure out some of these signs I didn't know. And that's why I put this section together, because I want you to go out there with the best knowledge you can. Okay, some of these signs might save your life someday. Some of these just might make your daily driving easier. Either case, I hope they work for you, okay? You might know what some of these signs mean, you might not, and it's okay, because they're not in your driver's manuals, they're not on the tests that you go to DMV. So that's why I like to cover them. This is not required by the government. I think it should be if someone got their eyes on it and want you to know how to be even safer out there, because that's our goal. We want you to be safe and productive, okay? So we're going to start over here on the far right side of the board. I got 3 exit signs. They all say Main Street 1 mile. Each sign is communicating something different to me besides Main Street 1 mile. They're all exit 5, that number's on top, right? So we can all agree on that. But what is this sign communicating that it's not printed or saying? It's telling me it's a left-hand exit because the number is on the left-hand side on top. So if I'm going down the road and I'm over in the right lane where I belong, oh, Main Street, I need that. Ooh, it's on the left. I got a mile to safely work myself over so I can exit to that side. Exit's on the right side because it's on the top right. I have, once in my career, seen it where the number was in the middle. I believe it was Nashville. I can't remember for sure. The highway split in 2 different directions and there was an exit ramp right in the middle of the split. Craziest thing I ever saw. What's this one communicating to me? You've probably seen them around here.
Right lane is your exit only lane.
That lane, because it's a right-hand exit, will go right off the exit and not continue. So you might have a 3-lane road. That right lane's going to go off the exit. Well, maybe I don't want exit 5 and I'm going beyond that. I got to move over a lane so I don't get caught up into it. It's giving me an idea or a placement on the road where I need to be. Okay? This next series going up here represents speed limits. A lot of times you'll get that ticky-tack speeding ticket entering and exiting the little towns. That's how they make their money, their revenue. Okay? So we're traveling here at 65 and we're going up the road in this direction. First thing you're going to see is a 45 sign, or you may see a speed zone ahead. New York State is now changing them all over to a 45 with yellow around it and an arrow. So they're slowly changing over. And then you'll see a second 45-mile-an-hour sign. Whenever the speed drops from 65 or whatever down, you'll get 2 signs. There's your warning, there's your speed limit. Now, it's time for you to start thinking. At what line here do I have to be legally at 45 miles an hour?
I'm going to go G.
F?
G. H.
G. G. At or before the sign, you must be at 45 miles an hour. That's where the small town cop's going to get you. Now, we're in the 45 zone. when we see 65 ahead? At what letter may I start accelerating and do 65 miles an hour?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Say J.
By law, your entire vehicle must be past the sign before you can start accelerating up to 65. This is where the small town cops get you. And they'll sit here either where you got to slow down or speed up at the edge of those speed zones. And they get traffic either way. I tell you that because you get preyed on upon those situations. All right? Don't want you getting any of those little speeding ticky-tack tickets. All right? We talked about this earlier. We saw it on the video, the chevron sign. Again, what does it mean? Sharper than normal corner with a grade change. Could be a little, could be a lot, up or down. Normally, where are you going to see that? The exits. But you can see these in the middle of the roadway too. Okay? Out in Indiana, on the Interstate 80, there's one section in the curve right in the middle of the highway. They got 4 or 5 of these lined right up with lights around them flashing. You never know where you're going to see them. It's telling you automatically you need to slow down as a truck driver now. That's an automatic, I gotta slow down. Where have you seen that sign? No, haven't seen it. You'll see it today after you leave, okay? You will find this on the edge of bridge abutments, either the pillars underneath, if you're driving underneath, or if you're going over a bridge, it'll be on each side of the bridge. You'll also see this on the end of a guardrail. Okay? It's clicking now, huh?
Yeah.
All right? But it's telling me something. Number one, there's something hard behind here I don't want to hit. Number two, if I'm not familiar with the road, especially at night or foggy, these lines are pointing down to where the roadway is. The roadway would be over here. That's the way they're pointing. So when you go across the bridge, there's my roadway. So at night especially, that's going to be very handy to you. Where have I seen this one?
Abutments where you go on either side.
Where the road splits. So we're in an example here in Binghamton, 8117 split. It's going to be right there on that concrete wall. Again, something hard behind there I don't want to hit, but it's telling me now the lanes go both sides of this sign. Where else have you seen this design but different colors? Might be blue and gold, blue and white, red and gold, red and black. Think of the back of emergency vehicles. Back of an ambulance might be blue and white. Back of a fire truck, red and gold. They're stopped in the road. They want you to go around them and not hit them, so it's a warning. Pennsylvania State Police have that on the back of their cars, a thin strip on their bumpers. New York State DOT has it on the back of their trucks. Okay? So they're giving you an idea of where the roadway needs to be or where you need to go. Okay? Orange and black. Where will I find that one? Construction zone. Orange and black for construction. Again, the lines are pointing to where they should want me. Or you may see a single one. Now they're white and orange, these plastic poles. They might have a light on top, they might not. I've gone into a construction zone before and it looked like both lanes were open. Okay, all the lines are pointing this way. I went over there and I was right. More often now, construction companies are employing professional sign companies to put these up to make sure they're all pointing the right way. Every once in a while you see one twisted and turned around the wrong way. It's this way, this way, this way, and all of a sudden it's this way. It probably got hit by a vehicle and the construction worker just threw it back up, not knowing better. Okay, but those are there to help you in those construction zones. where to be. The shark teeth, as I call them. You'll see those painted on the pavement mainly at intersections now, and these are relatively new signage that's out there. Any idea what it might mean? It's another way of saying yield. You'll have a yield sign here, but they paint this on the pavement, and if the points are towards you, you must yield to other traffic. Sometimes the sign's missing, you can't see it or whatever, but that's highly reflective, and they are white. I call them the shark teeth. They'll reach up and bite you if you don't yield, okay? In New York State only, you've seen the mobile light-up signs, right? All of a sudden they pop out of nowhere, and it's sitting there and it's got an X in each corner. It's telling us something, but nobody ever told you what it is. Any ideas what it might be communicating? What it's communicating is there's a construction zone coming up. It could be down the road or it could be off the next exit, but you're getting ready to enter a construction zone, construction type vehicles. Why New York State just doesn't say construction zone ahead because the sign is capable of doing that, I don't know. But that's what those 4 X's stand for in those corners when you come up to them. You're shaking your head like, what, really? Yes, I don't make this up, okay? I research it and find out, okay? Now, the rest of this board is the section I call delineators, okay? The federal government says on our interstates, they will fund signage and you must put delineators up. On the right side of your road will be a white delineator because that's the farthest to the right that I can go. That's where the white line on the pavement is. That's the absolute edge of the road bed. On the left side, I use yellow delineators. That's where the yellow line is, the farthest to the left that I can travel. Now this is outside of the shoulder. This is where Mother Nature starts and that road bed ends, okay? Different states have taken it upon themselves to use a coding system with these delineators, but they don't tell you about them. I used to drive through and I'm like, what do they mean? Why is this one there, 2 there, 1 here, green one there, yellow one there? They made no sense until I did some research on this. And this is how it goes, okay? In New York State, and New York State only I'm going to talk about right now because they have their own system, and I actually think they did a very good job. Surprise, surprise. But I think they did a great job. In New York State, I'm going down the road here, okay? And if I see a single delineator, it means it's fairly level out there if you had to go off-road. Now, I'm not talking tabletop smooth, but it's something you could drive out there and survive. If I see 2 delineators on one post, that's an embankment, either up or down. Probably somewhere I don't want to go off-road if I had to bail off-road, okay? As I'm going up the road here, I see a white delineator with a line through it, and this is an exit. Another white delineator with a line through it. That means a lane either enters or exits on that side of the road because it's on the white. If it was on the yellow, stuff would enter or exit in that area. So as I go up the ramp, it becomes an embankment. Level, then it turns into an embankment. The yellow's on the left side, letting me know that's the farthest I can go using the ramp. Back here, it's back to level ground. This is where the DOT or emergency vehicles turn around. They'll still have a line there just to let you know vehicles could be coming in and out of that area. When we look at the paint markings on our road, we got our passing lines down the middle. Exit ramps, they always have those little dots, don't they? That's telling you that's a place where traffic can also merge or exit with that lane. Okay, but there's more. There's a lot more. So Marty, you're telling me the yellow ones are on the left side of the road. But I drive down the road, I see one here and one way off over here. They have a meaning also. If it's off the roadway, or it might be right next to the road over here, that is drainage. There's a drain there, a culvert, okay? Some kind of drainage. So if I'm going off-road, I may not want to go into that spot, okay? This one here is very rare to see. It's almost like a backward C on a green field. That's where water goes underneath the highway and there's a trap that opens up and lets it out. You'll see that next to rivers or hillsides where the road is different heights and it comes out underneath. Again, a spot I probably want to avoid, okay? So that's those right there. This is probably just a grate in the ground right here next to the highway for drainage, but they're letting you know that it's there. So in New York, I come up to a guardrail. I'm going this direction because the lines are pointing over here, right? The first one delineator you're going to see is a green one with a black line. That indicates a section of guardrail starts. Single, double will mean that it's fairly level if you went through the guardrail on the other side. If it was double, incline either up or down. When that guardrail ends, there'll be a solid green one, telling me that the guardrail is now ending in that area. A wire guardrail. Normally you'll see these on the state routes, okay? You go this way, you'll see white reflectors on those posts. Okay, so I'm done. I turn around and I come back this direction, and now I'll see yellow ones on the inside of that post, the farthest to the right or the farthest to the left, depending on which direction I'm traveling. Make sense? Okay. Now, I used to think just New York had this. Well, I've been taking some road trips and I've been studying delineators as I go. New York State puts their delineators about every 100 feet. When you leave today and get out there on the road, you're going to see these and start, oh my goodness, how many you've missed or just looked by. Okay? The state of Pennsylvania. State of Pennsylvania just uses a white plastic stick for the right side, a yellow plastic stick for the left side. Okay? They put them about every quarter mile. Not very often, and when they're there, a lot of times the lawnmower guys run over them and all you see is some splinters sticking out of the ground. Okay? But they're solid white or solid yellow. But when you get to a guardrail section, that stick will be here and there'll be a black stripe on the top of it. So this is on the right side of the road. If it was on the left side, it'd be yellow ones with a black stripe on the top. Just telling me that's a guardrail section. Massachusetts, they just run single delineators. But at the front of the guardrail, and I missed color in that one, I knew I missed something. They put a red one, single red one, to mark the beginning of a guardrail. And then they'll put a single green one to mark the end where it ends. New York State, they will put delineators on top of Jersey walls, those concrete barriers. They only put a single delineator on top. They don't figure you're going to get through it if you hit it. Okay? So you're going to see singles on those, whether it's an up or down, beyond it, or if it's level. The New York State routes, Route 20, Route 11, or no, Route 11 is US, excuse me, Route 20, Route 7, state routes, use the same delineator action, except New York's paying for those, so they put little reflectors on those posts. They do that to go with this coding system. So you see, it looks like they robbed a bunch of little bicycles, the reflectors off them, and put them on these posts. So those are on the state routes in New York. There's one other delineator you'll see when you're going north. You get up towards Cortland, And let me draw that one real fast. And it will look like that. It'll be the metal delineator on the interstate, and then they'll have a little reflector on the top. That's for when they plow the snow up and they get covered. That little one on top is hopefully still sticking out, and you can use that as a guide. Important. I used to drive to Watertown at night. You top Syracuse, you get to Tug Hill there, it's just snow all the time. I'd be the only vehicle out there. I was basically plowing the snow with my bumper at night. Where's the road? I see the delineators on either side. I put myself dead center. I knew I was center of the road. I was good to go. If there's other traffic with me, I can gauge what portion of the road is mine. Where's the middle? I got that over. Nobody ever told you that, did they? Questions, comments, concerns?
Go past them a million times and never know what they were.
Now you're going to go home and you're going to see them. And you know what? There's one problem. I'm down the back of your head the rest of your life. Because you're going to see these, you're going to remember Marty telling you about them. You may need these to get yourself down the road as a guy. You may have to go off-road, a flat tire, an accident, whatever. I'm looking for that single delineator. That's a safer place. Oh, there's the yellow sign. I don't want to go towards the drain. It may save you. Okay? Anything else? Again, a lot of us have driven many different miles, many years, many situations. Nobody's explained this stuff to you. In my 7 years of teaching, I've only had one student who knew what every sign was. He now works for us as an instructor. His name is Ryan, but he works for also New York State DOT. He's got to put them up. So he knows exactly what they were.